Am I live? I think I'm live. Hello and welcome back to the final K. We have got stage 2 of the Itzulia Basque Country. There's 50 kilometers left to go now, and we've got a massive category 1 climb coming up, as you can see on your screen. What is happening so far at the moment, there is a breakaway up the road with 6 riders in it. They're a minute and 23 up the road. So it has Ethan Hayter, Garcia Pierna from Movistar. We've got Frank van de Broek from Picnic Post, Juan Bu from Caja Real, Mikel. We've got Iker Mintegi from Escatel, and then we've also got Bruno Amiral from Visma. So that is the 6 riders up the road. They're a minute and 21 seconds up the road. There was a crash just before I went live that Kevin Watchalong was caught up in. There was two riders from Tudor and 3 riders from Ineos caught up in it. I think it was Axel Laurence from Ineos, Lucas Hamilton as well. I'm not 100% on Axel Laurence, but Kevin Watchalong definitely went down, and PCS are saying Lucas Hamilton went down. So good day to yourself, Kat. How are you? All good? But yeah, that is not what Ineos want. They don't want the crash from Kevin Watchalong, especially for this stage. I don't think he has made it back to the peloton at the moment, so he hasn't. But what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Anyway, the GC for the state, or the whole thing, is on your screen. Paul Sexas in first, Kevin Watchalong in second, Gross Schottner in third, Primoz Roglic fourth, and Ilian van Wilder in 6th. So that was the top 5 for the stage yesterday, the individual time trial, which was a very dominating performance from Paul Sexas. 23 seconds he took on second place. So that was it was actually quite nuts. I wasn't live for it. Like I was out, but I was watching it on my phone. I didn't want to go live for it. I'm not the biggest fan of time trials, to be honest. But I was keeping up to date with it on my phone, and I seen the performance, and I just thought, wow, not too bad. Not seeing this one live, as I've paused my HBO sub for a little while. All right. I didn't realize you had it. I thought that you were just doing the streaming on YouTube, because that's what you were doing for the Tour of Flanders. Have you had it paused for like previous before the Tour of Flanders as well? I don't know. Yeah, glad to hear you're not doing too bad as well. We've got Decathlon at the front of the peloton doing the majority of the work at the moment, obviously because Paul Sexas is in the GC jersey. But how long until the big Category 1 climb? So the Category 1 climb does look pretty brutal. It is 9.4 kilometers long and has an average of 7.8%, with 9.5-ish percentage steep sections in it. There's one definitely at the start. I think one maybe 2 or 3 kilometers from the top as well. But it is definitely a stage that I'm looking forward to. It's probably the one I've been most looking forward to at this. There are definitely other good stages at it. I never did a preview for this on YouTube. I literally didn't have enough time with the Tour of Flanders and work and stuff like that. I just couldn't find enough time to sit down and look at everyone and edit it and get it up in time for the Itzulia Basque Country. But I did a small preview on YouTube, or not on YouTube, sorry, on TikTok. And I tried to upload it to YouTube, but it was too long for YouTube Shorts, which is always good. Hello, Johnny. We all good? What was it, Cat? No, I had HBO and Peacock, but refused to sub to Flowbikes at $40 a month. Flowbikes has US rates, not HBO, but refused to sub to $40 a month. Jesus. Flowbikes has the US rates for the Fleming. Right, okay. So you've right, okay. Get you now, catch your drift now. I'm going to assume that you're going to unpause your HBO sub maybe towards Duro or the Tour maybe. I never spend a dime on watching cycling and never will. It was free for years, so I can understand your point of view, Johnny. So on my small preview that I did for TikTok, the 5 riders that I said to watch out for were, oh no, Ben Healy, Sexas, Juan Ayuso, Isaac Del Toro, and there was another one, Christian Scaroni from Astana. They were my 5, and then, there were a couple others as well, but the start list it's very, very stacked for this race. Like I said, we've got Christian Scaroni, we've also got Harold Tejada at Astana, Mikel Landa over at Quickstep, Isaac Del Toro with Brandon McNulty. Them two didn't have the best of time trials, to be honest. Grossschartner got the better one. He finished the highest. But Brandon McNulty still got 8th and Del Toro in 13th. And then what other riders? We've got Juan Ayuso, obviously from Little Trek. I didn't put him in my... Did I? I know I did put him. I can't remember if I put him in my riders to watch. It was something like that, but I didn't know if his crash was still going to affect him. But potentially that is the case with the way he time trialed yesterday. It wasn't the best. He finished a minute and 16 seconds down, so he's sat in 38th overall at the moment. So he's going to need to. Glad I am back today, Steve Cummings. Oh God, that's hectic. Ayuso and Del Toro were not good yesterday. And I agree with you, Del Toro, 51 seconds down, obviously not... To be fair, for Del Toro, has he really had a good... I'm not saying a good time trial, but for his time trials, he's been in and around the same. For his time trial in UAE Tour, he got 25th. So he did... What was that down? But that was on a flat one. 25th, he was 41 seconds down. In the Tirreno individual time trial, he got 10th. What was that? 37 seconds down, and then he gets 13th, 51. So he is... It's obviously his worst time trial this year, but I would say... I think you would expect him to be 30 seconds down, so I suppose it is. He didn't do well, but I don't think I was expecting him top 5, top 3 even. Maybe you could have potentially said that for the fact it was a hilly time trial, but my prediction for the stage was Roglic, so it was. And he obviously didn't get it. Paul Sexas blew it out of the water. It's the best race to find out what Sexas is made of. Great start list. I haven't even... I will just, before I read the rest of the chat, I will just go through the rest of the start list just in case you didn't know. Finn Fisher Black didn't start stage 1. Oh dear. So with Roglic and Lipowitz at Red Bull. My prediction for the overall GC was actually Roglic, so it was. So we'll see how that goes. Apparently Lipowitz, someone said to me on my TikTok that Boris said Lipowitz isn't going for GC. Decathlon bring Paul Sexas and Riccatello, 2 brilliant riders so far this season. Movistar bring Kian Utebrooks. Barry and Victorious are bringing Peyo Bilbao and Antonio Taberi. Antonio Taberi, obviously, in the UAE Tour, was brilliant. He didn't continue it on in the Tirreno, so we'll see how he does in the Itzulia Basque Country, but I think it is Peyo Bilbao that is going to be leading Barry in this one. Anyone else to know? Cofidis bring Ion Izagirre. Obviously, he won the Miguel Indurain the one-day pro race there recently, so he did. And EF Education, they bring Ben Healy. Team Visma. The Team Visma don't have a strong... They obviously don't have their strongest team, but they've got the likes of Ben Tullett, Tim Rex, Bruno Amirel, or whatever way you pronounce it. He's in the breakaway at the moment. And then I'll go down to Uno X in a minute. Ineos Grenadiers have Andrew August, Kevin Vaquelin, Axel Laurence. Axel Laurence, obviously, he did the Coppi a Bartali, the stage race in Italy, and he got second in it with 2 stage wins. And I'll actually check if there was an update that if he was the one that actually did crash with the 2 other Ineos riders. And then Uno X, they bring Magnus Kort, and then they bring Tobias Hallen Johannesson as well as Andreas Kron. So a massive, very strong team for Uno X, so it is. So let me see. Indeed, for the Giro, Peacock has the Tour de France, and I got that for £20 a year. And they have the Paris-Roubaix, Vuelta, and Tour Down Under. So that covers a great deal. So fair enough, £20 a year for Peacock, and they have Tour Down Under, the Vuelta, Tour de France, and Paris-Roubaix. Wait, hold up, it's Tour de France, isn't it? Giro yeah, Tour de France. Fair enough, that's a very, very good deal. As fun as Cummings could be on the bike, so boring he is as a commentator. Well, he does provide some good insight. I will give him that. So I will. He is not masterful, but I expect Isaac Del Toro to be better. There was even a hill Yeah, I know. I think that was the hill sort of could have favoured him in that way, but it obviously didn't in the end. We could be looking at fatigue from the season so far, but I think with Isaac Del Toro doing so well and the expectations he's got at the moment, I don't think anyone's going to accept fatigue as an excuse. He's still developing, I suggest. Yeah, he still is. I think he needs to work on his time trial a lot. I mean, I'm saying that I couldn't, I couldn't do jack squat in a time trial but I think if we're talking about him, for a main focus, I would say time trial would need to be one if he wants to compete in the Grand Tours. Amorai, right? Okay, Amorai. That's the pronunciation. Thank you. Does mean putting up with Phil Liggett, of course. So they are just, I think they're just passing through they've just done the sprint zone, so it's like a sponsored Red Bull sprint zone. I don't know what the prize is for it, but it's sponsored by Red Bull. Or is it 2 kilometers? That was a minute ago. I don't know if they're about to hit it or they've just passed it. They went under a Red Bull flag anyway. But what was I going to say? I was going to say, so there was a Category 2 climb at the start of the day. Johan Bo won it, taking 6 points. Mintegi in second with 4 points. Then there was also Fajaro from Burgos. He was in the breakaway at the start, but he obviously dropped out. Not of the race, off the breakaway. And then Ethan Hayter takes fourth at 1 point. Then there was 2 Category 3 climbs, which seen Juan Bo take first in the first one and the second one, with Mintegi taking second in the first one. I need to look at the Amorai from Visma taking second in the third one, and then Van de Broek from Picnic Post and Raul Garcia Pierna or whatever his name is, Garcia from Movistar. So we've got Juan Bo obviously taking the KOM jersey so far, but we've got 10 points up for grabs in this Category 1 climb at the end of the stage. But Juan Bo seems to be going for it. But everyone else just seems to be spread across. I think Mintegi moves into second provisionally. So I'm at a break now, so I am an ad break. Still the same 6 riders in the breakaway. And I think Decathlon are still at the front. I don't know if Vauquelin has made it back. I'm going to assume that he has. There hasn't been any updates on it, and there hasn't been any updates on whether Axel Laurence was involved in that crash. I heard the commentators mention his name, but I'm not 100%. But the other rider, the 2 riders from Ineos that were involved in that crash, Kevin Vauquelin and Lucas Hamilton. There was also a rider from Tudor, but they never mentioned the name on that one. So yeah. Rob Hatch or Carlton Kirby, who is better? Let me know. I like the both of them. I think they're both good in their own way. So they do. So I do. Probably for myself, Rob Hatch, I guess. But I mean, it is close margins. Rob Hatch reminds me of Peter Drury in football commentating, if anyone knows that. But that's who he reminds me of. But I like the both of them. I'd say both of them are. Maybe Rob Hatch just edges it with his commentary within like the final 5-10 kilometers or even the final kilometer, I guess. But they're both very good. Look out for Remco amongst the spectators out of shout. We're back to Remco. Phil used to ask in the early stages of Le Tour if his audience thought that the great sprinters were going to challenge for GC. I liked him, but sometimes I thought he didn't watch the same race. Hatch for me, I like them both, but I prefer Hatch a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm the same with you, Johnny. I think they're both as good as each other, but I think Rob Hatch just slightly gets my favourite, I suppose. But it is a very good comparison. But I like my own stance best. I ain't no journalist who needs to sell anything to anybody. There you go. So how close are we to the bottom of this Category 1 climb, where I am expecting and I am hoping, I say expecting, sorry, I am hoping for fireworks. I'm hoping for an attack on it. I'd say we are maybe 10 kilometres from the foot of it. Marco Brenner from Tudor Pro Cycling has abandoned this race now. I think that must be the Tudor rider that was involved in that crash. There was one on the ground and one beside him, so he's abandoned. The other 4 riders that have abandoned, of course they have all these names. So Luca Vergoletto from Alpecin, he didn't start. There was a rider from Luxembourg at Lotto Intermarché, he didn't start. Welch from Tudor also. Tudor have lost 3 riders for this stage. So Welch from Tudor, he didn't start, and Janis Vossard didn't start for Tudor as well. So they're down by 3. Unless did any abandon yesterday? No. So Tudor are down to 4 riders for this. Where my mouse is gone. Mouse has gone rogue. So the breakaway is 1 minute and 4 seconds up the road. Vauquelin is back into the peloton. They're showing the green jersey in the peloton now. He's in that because, you know, Paul Sachs has every jersey at the moment, so it's all down to the second riders in that. That is the GC on your screen. Pretty much the top 5 from yesterday, I've already mentioned, but I will go through again. Paul Sexas, Vauquelin 23 seconds down, Grosschartner in 3rd, Primoz Roglic 4th, and Ilian Van Weiler. I've also got the youth. I haven't done the points or the KOM because, I mean, that's just pretty much the top 5 from the stage. The youth jersey, though, is a bit different. We've got Paul Sexas in 1st, Andrew August 40 seconds down. He had an unreal time trial for Ineos. He finished 8th, I believe. Was it 8th? I think he was definitely top 10. 100% top 10. Let me just. Why is it showing this? 7th. He got 7th, so he did. And then Michael Leonard from, oh my god, who's he right? EF Education. Isaac Del Toro 51 seconds down in 4th, and then Peter Oxenberg down in 5th. So that's the youth jersey standings. The peloton should catch a break by early in the, unless they change how they want this world to work. Money is. At least you have it all figured out, Johnny. We lost you for a bit there. So, and yes, to agree, yeah, they should catch him. They should catch them early. It's down to 51 seconds now. They could potentially catch him before it. The 35.8k to go. I'm going to change that on my screen now because there's no longer 50k to go. There is 35. So yeah, like I said, I wasn't live for this, or wasn't live for the first stage because it was a time trial and I wasn't in, and I was watching on my phone just, and I don't really like watching time trials. I suppose team time trials, I don't know, but I just think time trials can be a bit long at some points, and it's just sort of the same thing. Hello, Bobby. We all good? We all good? But yes, we're back, and I'm live to the end of the week. Paris-Roubaix on Sunday, which is building up to be an exciting one, especially after the results there in the Tour of Flanders. A lot of conversations are open about what could happen. I had it on my phone and I was flicking on and off, and I was keeping an eye on PCS to see who was up next and stuff like that. But I mean, sitting through it can be a bit of a hard watch at times. Yeah, I didn't watch the time trial either. Low-key boring. I'm good. I'm also doing well. Thank you, Bobby. Glad to hear you're doing good. They should do a 50-kilometer time trial again. I mean, that would be interesting to watch in the Tour, or yeah, probably in the Tour, towards the end of the Tour, maybe the last week of the Tour. A 50-kilometer time trial would be pretty interesting nowadays. Imagine Remco in Roubaix. I knew that was was it in an interview after he hinted at it or teased at it or something like that, but then it came out that he wasn't riding it. And then, I mean, I guess we're just going to have to live with the fact that I think Lantern Rouge, I was watching their Tour of Flanders preview, and they were talking about Remco and him finishing the junior Roubaix, and apparently he said after he was never riding the Roubaix cobbles again after that race, so I don't think we'll ever see him there. Metaphysics never won a bike race. Eddie Merckx probably. But that Poggy vibes. No other. 5.8 kilometers to the foot of the climb. So it is going to kick up here soon. Still the same 6 riders in the breakaway. You like the time, how long you can keep your attention focused on time trials. I mean, time trials can be interesting if it's like that one in the Tour de France where it was like all uphill. That was last year. Was it last year? I can't even remember. But the one that Vingegaard caught Remco at the very end, when time trials are like that, it can be a lot more interesting. But I suppose it needs to be the Tour de France to be that interesting. Remco, as Patrick calls him. So the gap is now down to 48 seconds. So it is. And actually, I will tell you who's in what and who's in where jersey. Let me just have a wee look. So as we know, Paul Sexas in the GC jersey. The green jersey is being worn by Kevin Vauquelin. The KOM jersey is being worn by Bauke Mollema at the Little Trek, and then the youth jersey is being worn by Andrew August. Oh no, ignore what I was going to say. So that is who is wearing the each of the jerseys. Obviously, Paul Sexas is leading all 4 of them. But yeah, just showing an interview with Paul Sexas now. They showed an interview with Ben Healy, and where did Ben Healy? I seen him towards like the start of the time trial. Oh my god. But apparently something happened with Ben Healy, and I didn't even realise it happened until I seen that interview there. So where did he finish? I seen him 36th, a minute and 13 down. So he finished 36, a minute and 13 down, but apparently he hit an old woman who was crossing the road, and apparently she crossed the road. He was going 50 kilometers an hour, and he rode straight into her. He said he's lucky that he hasn't broken any bones. I didn't see any mention of it, but he said it there in an interview before today's stage, which he showed on TV, which I don't know why the old woman was crossing. Apparently she was on a bike as well. I think that's what he said, but it was definitely an old woman. I don't know why she was crossing the road, but I mean, he said he's lucky to not have a broken bone, and he's lucky to be starting today's stage. So I actually had him as a one to watch, because obviously the Ardennes are coming up, and he used the Itzulia Basque Country last year I think he broke away 3 stages and won one of them. Obviously building up for the Ardennes, which he did very well in. So I hope that I hope he's able to get in the breakaway and prepare for the Ardennes after that crash. Provisma GC's leader have fallen off with Yates retiring and Rogged Bora. We are really relying on Ben Tullett. gotta have a bit of faith, Bobby. Gotta have a bit of faith in Ben Tullett. Indeed they can. Yeah, with Mollema. Yeah, Mollema ended last in the time trial, but he just went nuts in the first climb. Yeah, whoever got the fastest time on the climb got the KOM jersey, and Sexas still got it after Bauke Mollema doing all that to get last. Ben Healy almost did as well as I used to with a crash. Wow, I know. I didn't realize how I knew that he didn't have a good time trial, but when I was looking back there, and I still seen he was in a minute after the crash. That is, I would like to see him where he finished if the crash didn't happen. But we're now down to the final 30 kilometers. 31 kilometers, 30.9, and we are closing up to the foot of the San Miguel de Aralar, or whatever. The Aralar, yeah, I'll call it that, the Aralar. Right. It's why I'm less fan of Visma. They should have never let Roglic go. Do you think so? Do you reckon they should never have let Roglic go? Ayuso's pretty good, like top 10. I know that was another conversation as well. But because obviously Ayuso a minute and 16 down, however, Skelmose, that's now the topic of conversation for Little Trek at the moment. Is Skelmose going to be the new leader? He finished ninth, 45 seconds down, so there's 20 seconds, 30 seconds between them. Are they going to give Skelmose the reins and go for GC with him, or will Juan Ayuso flip the switch and be all good and be able to prove that they don't need Skelmose? No, that's a bit mean, but it'd be pretty decent or pretty cool to see what happens or what Skelmose could do if given the leader. But I don't know if Juan Ayuso is going to be, if he is still feeling it after the crash at the Paris-Nice, or if he'll be able to turn things around. I think Roglic wanted to go after the Vuelta 2023. They told him he can't ride the Tour and has to do the Giro Vuelta, and then he needs to hold back at the Vuelta too. Yeah, and now he's at Red Bull and being told that he can't ride the Giro or the Tour and can only ride the Vuelta. Roglic hasn't been awesome at Bora. Visma would really be better with the tactics. I suppose I do miss seeing him in the yellow Visma kit. So I do. But what was I going to say? I'll just talk about yesterday. I'm on a break again, so I am. I think they're doing another break before the final climb. Just regards to the top 20, Mikel Landa got 55 seconds down, as well as Harold Tejada from Astana. So they were two very good time trials in the top 20. Peo Bilbao got 17th, 53 seconds down. Yeah, 53 seconds. So just other riders to note for the GC. Florian Lipowitz got 6th. I don't have him on my... I should actually change that back over to the GC. But Florian Lipowitz got 6th, 33 seconds down. So just some other good GC riders. Tobias Allen Johannesson, he got 22nd with 57 seconds down. So they're still all in around each other. It just seems Paul Sexas is on planet Mars at the moment here. Only good Roglic we've seen at Bora was Vuelta 2024 and Catalunya. Roglic built Visma, helped them win their actual first tour with brilliant tactics. Which Grand Tour winner does that for another rider? I suppose you are all in agreement that he was disrespected then at Visma towards the end of it. As a challenge to myself, I tell myself that I have to put Landa in my fantasy team every time. I put him in my fantasy team for, what was it, the Catalunya, and I thought I'd take a gamble on it because it was his first race of the year, and he let's just say, didn't do the best. Quinn Simmons now attacking out the front of the peloton. It's all, it seems to be kicking off now. 8.9 kilometers to the top of the climb. I need to do I'm going to quickly do a poll. I should have had this. Oh my god, his name's spelt wrong. Right, hold up. Who else should I add? I'll just do... That's not how you spell that. But Quinn Simmons straight to the front of the peloton. Vauquelin is now moved to the front as well with Ineos. Good to see him back at the front after the crash. But Quinn Simmons is doing a massive pace here at the front. What name was I going to type there? Right, here we go. That's spelled wrong as well. Right, there's a quick poll there in the chat for the winner and who you think it is going to be. I predicted Tobias Allen Johannesson to win it. And Decathlon now moved to the front. Paul Sexas sat in third or second wheel. He's got two teammates side by side and he's behind them. Vauquelin is on the wheel off Sexas. Quinn Simmons is now brushed off the side. There's a rider from Visma in the ditch. There's like a concrete ditch, sort of like a lip off the side of the road. He's in it. But it looks like Paul Sexas comfortably sat in second. Decathlon are doing well here. They have about four teammates near him, near the front of the peloton, but there's one at the front, two now at the front. So Bryce Simmons wasn't in the early break. Usually he's already destroyed himself by now. I think they were trying to save him. He did do well in that Miguel Indurain one-day race, so I think they were going to save him for the climb to obviously try and drill up it, but he's been consumed by the peloton now. He's my favourite rider, so it has to be done. Well, I mean, if he's your favourite rider and he's still riding, get him in your fantasy teams as many times as possible before he does retire. Quinn being Quinn. I like the cock. But as it is now, 8.3 kilometres to the top of this climb. The breakaway is a minute and 19 up the road, minute and 20, so they've actually gained time since the last time I actually looked at it. I think it was down to about 40 seconds, so now they've gained 40 seconds. 27.7k to go. Decathlon have 4 riders at the front, 2 in front of Sexas, 1 behind him. Then there's a rider from Visma on the wheel of the teammate for Decathlon. Vacquelin is there as well. I think I seen Tesfacion. The breakaway is breaking apart with Juan Bo and who's the Movistar rider? Forgot his name. It's the one I can't pronounce. Garcia Pierna. They're the 2 going off on their own with Ethan Hayter, Van de Broek, Mintegi and Amaral from Visma. They are all dropping off now. But let me see is Tesfacion riding it, because if it is, yeah, it is Tesfacion. So Juan Bo is now attacking here on Garcia Pierna from Movistar. He's obviously going for the 10 points at the end of this climb. He's won every single climb this stage. So he has. But we will wait and see what is going to happen in the peloton. There is 1 minute and 7 seconds the gap now. Decathlon seem to be kicking up the pace here. Still the 2 riders at the front, both out of the saddle. Paul Sexas comfortably sat in third still. Uno X I see trying to move up to the front. Or trying to move up to near the front. I think that's Mintegi being caught by the peloton. Anyone else I can see there? I can see a rider from Red Bull on the left-hand side of the road. I don't think it is Roglic. But there's a rider from Visma. I don't know who the rider from Visma is. I will assume Ben Tollett. But Vacquelin, Paul Sexas. I can't see anyone from UAE. Not going to lie, I can't. Pardon me. There's Julian Alaphilippe dropping out the back of the peloton. That is... oh dear, not good for Tudor. So they've lost 3 riders today, and now they're losing their leader on the final climb. But this is some effort from Decathlon. Whoever's at the front there is putting in a massive effort. Right, got a bit of a zoom out. I see Del Toro now. Del Toro's maybe about 12 riders back, maybe a bit more. There's 2 riders from Uno X just in behind Vacquelin. I'm going to assume one is Tobias Allen Johannesson. Is that Ethan Hayter? It is. Ethan Hayter and Van de Broek have now caught back up to Juan Bo and Garcia Pierna from Movistar. But the gap is now down to a minute. 7.2 kilometres to the top of this climb. And it looks like Decathlon are setting up a potential attack for Sexas. But I don't think he needs to attack, to be honest. Either that or they're just keeping him out of trouble. But they are drilling it up this climb. Go Frankie. Go Frankie indeed. Gap is now down to 54 seconds. I think that's the Andrew August from Ineos has dropped out of the peloton. The blue jersey or the youth jersey isn't along the top of the screen anymore in the peloton, so I think he has dropped. Red Bull are starting to form on the left-hand side of the road here, as well as UAE. I see a couple of riders from UAE, but 3 riders from Red Bull. The rider that was for Decathlon has now pulled off to the side. He is done, and it is now being left to whoever this is. Is that Riccatello? I'm not sure. But Garcia Pierna now for Movistar in the breakaway. He kicks it up, so he does. And is he attacking, or is Ethan Hayter just not able to hold the wheel? Juan Bo now comes around the side of Ethan Hayter. I don't think he is. I think Juan Bo's going to close that gap. But the gap is now down to 42 seconds. The gap is 42 seconds. Sexas sat in second wheel with a rider in front and behind him. Little Trek have a rider. Visma have a rider. Vacquelin's there. Red Bull have a rider. All on the wheel. Or let's say all on the wheel. All sort of grouped up together behind Kevin Vacquelin. No, did I mention Vacquelin? Behind the Sexas train. Sexas loses his teammate behind him, so he's only got this one in front of him. As Sexas now moves to the front, Sexas is going to attack here. Sexas moves to the front of the peloton as he puts in attack. Scalmoza goes with him. Is anyone else able to go with him here? Sexas is going on his own. The gap to the breakaway is 30 seconds. He gets out of the saddle now and he puts in an attack. What? Can't find a stream, so thanks for the play-by-play commentary. No problem. No problem. I'm live all week as well. But Sexas here putting in a massive attack. I wouldn't even say it. I take that back. Not him. He's just put in an attack and no one is able to follow him. He's not really... He got out of the saddle once, but Decathlon played this perfectly. Scalmoza was the only one that was able to follow slightly. I think that is that Roglic or Lipowitz? But they're all looking at each other. They don't know what to do. The gap now... What's the gap? Is it 17 seconds to the... There's no way it's 17 seconds to the breakout. It was 40 seconds, like 10 seconds ago. I call him Frankie now. Frank van der Broek has now been caught. Sexas passes him. Apparently the gap's 13 seconds to the breakaway now. So they've obviously got the timings mixed up. Yep, just an acceleration. Yeah, it wouldn't. Just an acceleration that no one has been able to... The rest of the peloton is done. Are they done or are they just riding? I don't know. But Scalmoza went to go with him and it didn't look like anyone else reacted. Or is he doing too much? There's still 6.3 kilometers to go to the top of this climb now. Jon Boo, Ethan Hayter and Garcia Pierna still out the front on their own with the Sexas in the distance. You can see him. The gap, according to PCS, is 23 seconds. TV hasn't updated yet. It is Florian Lipowitz from Red Bull. He is 31 seconds down, so there's a gap of 8 seconds between him and Sexas. But Sexas gets out of the saddle again, puts in another acceleration here. This is... I genuinely... I didn't expect Sexas here to... I was expecting Del Toro or someone else and him to follow. I didn't expect him to go on his own. But it looks like no one is able to stay with him. There's no way he goes solo. It's like what he did in the... It's like what he did in the Ardèche Classic. It takes big balls in a field like that to just go when you're 19 and leaving GC. I like him as well. I think it's like a breath of fresh air at the moment, even though he's like in the races and in a few years he'll probably be as dominant in GC races as Vingegaard and Pogacar, and everyone will get sick of him. But at the moment, this is like a breath of fresh air. But Florian Lipowitz everyone looks, I don't know if it's just me, but I think everyone looks a bit done. 25.4k to go. Sexas still getting out of the saddle. There's no way he does this on his own. This is nuts. Change that to 25. So all the breakaway has been caught now. So Paul Sexas is going to obviously win the Category 1 climb and stay in the KOM jersey. Yep, Ayuso, just seeing your text as the screen panned to it. Ayuso is dropping, so it looks like that crash is still an issue, obviously, after it. And after the time trial, it looks like Scalmoza is going to be the new leader of Little Trek for this Itzulia Basque Country. I wonder if Juan Ayuso will abandon now. That is the question. Or if he will stick it out and go the rest of the week. Hopefully he does to get the races into his legs. But Sexas out of the saddle again. This is crazy. This is nuts. He's 16 seconds on Florian Lipowitz. Or is that the group? Apparently PCS says 15 seconds on Lipowitz and 16 seconds to the group behind him. So I suppose Lipowitz is in that group. So 17 seconds now. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Aye, so there's the group now. It would be about a second or two between them. But the gap now is 18 seconds and growing. It just keeps growing. So he can climb, he can attack, he can time trial. I think we're looking here at a potential superstar. Like if they can keep him and nurture him well, I think we're looking at a possible Tour de France winner in the coming years. And this is just, I mean, maybe even multi-time Tour de France winner. But Ayuso's now caught back up to the Riccatello group. I don't even know how far that is down. But the group of favourites that are chasing: Ethan Hayter, Isaac Del Toro, Skelmoza, Florian Lipowitz, Kian Utebrooks, Garcia Pierna from Movistar, Frank de Broek, Juan Bo, Amaral from Visma, and Ben Tullet. So they seem to be the 10 riders in the chasing group. No Roglic. No Ayuso. He's out of the saddle again. The gap is 21 seconds. Who's in group 4? It says group 4, the gap is 48 seconds. Maybe that's Mikel Landa, 46 seconds down. Oh dear. Success winning the Tour de France will be a dream come true. I think the French will close. I think the French will go nuts if he does end up winning this. Del Toro now at the front of this chasing group. Is he going to attack now? Obviously, in recent climbs when Del Toro has dropped or fallen back a bit, he's obviously rode at his own pace, and then he's obviously clawed back. So it looks like he is up in the pace here at the front of this group, with it seemed to be splitting apart. Kian Utebrooks, a rider from Cofidis, Lipowitz, and there's another rider from Red Bull, I think, only able to go with him. But it looks like we're getting a bit of competition here. Visma signed this kid. I highly doubt Visma will. I highly doubt Visma may be able to afford him. Them Frenchies have amazing talent over there. He's got to become one of the betting faves for third at the Tour. I'll get on to that in a second. Roglic is in the second group. He is phenomenal. I might cry now, but I can't stop supporting me. So back to betting favourite for third at the Tour. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I genuinely hope they do not send him to the Tour this year. I think, obviously if they do and he does do well, it'll pay off. But I hope they don't. For his first Grand Tour, sending him to the Tour de France, he's French, rides for a French team, and he's only 19. If he doesn't do well, they will hang him out to dry. I think, me personally, they should send him to the Vuelta. That's where I think they should send him to. Grand Tour, end of the season. Joao Almeida's there. Obviously, Vingegaard's riding the Giro, but the Vuelta, it's a Grand Tour. You have the highest, some of the steepest climbs in the world. I think that would suit him better. And his team is super stacked. Yeah, I agree. Riccatello, Tobias Lund Anderson. I mean, he's not GC support but Tobias Lund Anderson as well. Decathlon are probably my favourite team so far this year, just with what they're building and how well they're doing with the young talents. It's very, very good to see. But Sexas still at the front. The gap is 35 seconds. The group chasing: Chapousson from Astana, Isaac Del Toro, Skelmoza, Roglic, Lipowitz, Utebrooks, Ion Izagiri, Alex Boudin, and Ben Tullet. There's a group of 9, 35 seconds down. Then 1 minute and 1 second down, we've got Mikel Landa, Ilian Van Wilder, Ethan Hayter, Juan Ayuso, Matthew Riccatello, Peo Bilbao, Tiberi, and Tobias Allen Johannesson. So there's my prediction out of it. I genuinely think he can beat Jonas for second. I don't know if he could this year. I would save him for next year, and I think the conversation would pick up. I don't know. I think it would be a lot of pressure on him, and I think at 19, I don't think he can do that. I think that the pressure would be a bit too much, unless obviously pressure doesn't affect him. But I agree, Vuelta not Tour. Yeah, I don't think Giro, just because he's riding a lot at the start of the season. Sure, he had a break from the Strada to the Itzulia. He had a month break, so that was a good break. And then he's riding this Itzulia Basque Country. Then he's riding Flèche Wallonne and Liège-Bastogne-Liège. So I think maybe the Giro after that might be a bit much for him. I don't know what you would send him to between now and the Vuelta. Maybe the I don't know. I don't know what you would send him to. I think he has the talent to beat Pogačar, perhaps even this Tour. See, I don't know. I might disagree with you on that. I don't think he has it to beat Pogačar this season. Definitely maybe in the next 2 seasons if Pogačar is still there. But this season you have to remember Pogačar he's only rode 3 races and he's won all 3. With the Strade Bianche and the Tour of Flanders seeming to be winning them with ease. San Remo obviously a bit more difficult with the crash and Pidcock with him. But 22.5 kilometers to go. The gap is now 50 seconds. He's on his own. He's got Del Toro, Skelmoser, Roglic, Lipowitz all chasing him, and the gap is 50 seconds. And we're still not even near the top of it. This is crazy. This is wow. Maybe he could ride Criterium or Swiss or Romandy. Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say Dauphin, but I forgot the other ones around it. So Swiss and Romandy. Yes, he could potentially. We'll see him go up against Pogacar if he does ride those, because he's riding the pair of them. My thoughts: don't blow him out by going too early. Exactly. You don't want to, because he's 19 years old. Like, can you imagine? Yeah, 19 years old going to the Tour de France. Your French team, the French have the highest expectations because of how well you're doing. The pressure. That's the type of pressure that crushes you. Like, they sent Poggi to the Vuelta in 2019 when he found out halfway he was the best. Remember those that the cycling gods would destroy the first call, would destroy the first call promising. Yeah, but Sexas is different. He does not know pressure and does not care about others' opinions. There you go. They haven't announced what Grand Tour he is riding, but just myself personally, I hope it isn't a Tour. I would like to see him at the Vuelta because, I think the Vuelta, the starting list for the Vuelta is a bit. Let me have a look. I don't think So at the moment, the riders that are down, obviously the Vuelta's at the end of the season, but there's Joao Almeida, Wout van Aert, Felix Gall, Skelmoser, Brennan, Roglic, Riccatello, Tejada, Plap. I mean, I think if you add Sexas to that, it makes it that bit more exciting. But we will have to see. But he is, he's definitely, he's like Isaac Del Toro. Isaac Del Toro is like riding for UAE. He's dubbed the successor to Pogacar, and he's 47 seconds down on Paul Sexas. But obviously Isaac Del Toro has rode a lot more at the start of this season. I don't know how, but he cares not about media or fans. Maybe he just blocks out. I remember seeing now don't quote me on this or anything, but I remember seeing like an article. And I remember it saying he went altitude training for, I think it was a month or something, or however long they were altitude training for. And apparently he wasn't allowed contact with anyone. He couldn't speak to his family or anything like that. And he was just on the bike. So I guess that's how he blocks out the noise. He just doesn't go on anything. Landa attacks. Toro is a different beast. He cares a lot about media and fans. Del Toro's still in this group. Obviously, Mikel Landa has attacked out of the fourth group. He's 2 seconds up the road on them, according to PCS. But there's 1.7 kilometers to the top of this climb. I wonder if we're going to see an Isaac Del Toro attack here as he moves from the back of the group to the front of the group, out of the saddle. It looks like he's putting the pedal down. Utebrooks is following him in his wheel. There's a gap now created from Del Toro and Utebrooks to Ion Izagirre and the rest. Mikel Landa attacked to try. I think he attacked to try and get onto the back of this group, and now they're attacking, and he's now struggling to get back on. Oh, God love him. Sexas will ride the Tour for sure. Decathlon will want to cash in on him as much as they can with a Tour podium and maybe a stage win or two. But there you go. I forgot about that as well. That is a massive factor. UAE obviously want to sign him, and yeah, I mean, fair enough. That changes things quite a lot, because if UAE do go after him and Decathlon never send him to the Tour, it'll be a big what if for how could the big young French sensation do at the Tour de France. If he goes to UAE, yeah, I think that is. I think if he goes, it'll be over. Like, Del Toro now attacking. Utebrooks is dropping. The Decathlon car trying to get past them here to try and catch up to Paul Sexas. Del Toro tries to move into the slipstream of the car. But that is Lipowitz and Utebrooks now chasing down Del Toro. The 20.8 kilometers to go, 1.3 to the top of the climb. The gap is 46 seconds. So it seems they've stabilized out at the moment. That's probably about Sexas going to UAE, that's probably the one transfer I would hate to happen. I just don't want it to happen at all. But we've got a group here of Isaac Del Toro, Florian Lipowitz and Kian Utebrooks with a small gap to, is that Roglic and Ion Izagirre? They're looking to bridge the gap here. They think they are going to do so. Alex Boudon from AF Education is now, he's on his own trying to catch up to the Isaac Del Toro group. But it looks like Roglic has caught up to these three riders. Is that Mikel Landa? Mikel Landa looks to be powering it up here. He's caught onto the back of Chapousson, or is that Higuita? It's Higuita and Tejada from Astana. He's passed those two, and he's going off on his own. Or has he? Are they onto his wheel? It looks like they're keeping onto his wheel. But it looks like Mikel Landa is doing very well here after dropping. This attack seems to be paying off. As Florian Lipowitz now attacks on the Del Toro group. He's on the right-hand side of the road now. Couple seconds back, Del Toro, Kian Utebrooks, I think Alex Bodin has now caught up to them. Ion Izagirre and Primoz Roglic. There's a gap and that, who's that? Is that Riccatello? There's a Ben Tullett and there's a boy with oh no, it's Chapousson from Astana. Izagirre having some amazing form this week, I agree. He's looking very good for Cofidis. But Florian Lipowitz seems to have gone clear here by about 5 seconds. PCS says 5 seconds. Maybe a bit less. I don't know. Maybe I say about 5 seconds. But Lipowitz here. I was told that Lipowitz wasn't going to be the GC man. But it looks. Well, obviously Roglic is still doing good as well in this Del Toro group. The gap is now 48 seconds. It was 49. So it is slowly growing. Agreed, I'd hate to see Sexas sign for UAE. I'd love for him to stay riding as a French team. It would be amazing for cycling, but unfortunately I can definitely... Yeah, with what you just said there, I agree like 1,000,000%. Out of the saddle again. Paul Sexas on his own, 19.8 kilometers to go. I think he's about to hit the top of the climb here now. The crowds are definitely picking up. And then there's a descent down to the finish, so there's about a 10 kilometer descent. And then it picks up again. You start going uphill with about 4 kilometers to go, and then the final 1 kilometer is 7.2% maybe. But they're still definitely in it. If 49 seconds, it hasn't hit the minute yet. And the group seems to have come back together again. So the likes of Chapousson, Ben Tullett, Skelmoser potentially seem to have caught back up to this Isaac Del Toro group. But I wonder if they will be able to catch him on the descent. He is a pretty good descender, Del Toro. Sexas to UAE would be the worst time. It would. With Dorian Goudon and Vauquelin, France have a crazy young generation. It does seem so. It does seem they do. I think Goudon is Goudon a bit older. He's still doing very well this season, obviously, but I don't think he is 29, so he's near hitting the 30s. But I agree, the French this season and potentially next season as well have a lot of good riders. But this is crazy, like. And Magnier, yeah. When you said that, I tried to think of other French riders and none of them came to mind. But yes, Magnier. Lipowitz now has got still a small gap. It says on PCS still a 5-second gap. But Skelmoser and is that Boudon? Yep, Skelmoser and Boudon have now attacked and are now bridging back across to Lipowitz. Look at this. They've now passed Lipowitz. Who's that? Utebrooks is there. Ian Izagirre's there. Del Toro's not there. Oh, it's now picking up. Del Toro or Roglic isn't there. We've now got a group of Skelmoser, Alex Bodin, Lipowitz, Ian Izagirre, and there was one other rider, Utebrooks. Those 5 riders, and then down the road, they're on the descent now, but so is it up the road? Is it still down the road or up the road? Either or. Behind that group is the likes of Roglic and Del Toro. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot in that group, maybe 2 or 3. Ben Tullett, is Chapousson still in there? Gap is now 53 seconds. I wonder if Del Toro can catch him here. This is the Wanayusu group they're showing that is 1:14 down. It has got Wanayusu. Is that Riccatello, is it? Peo Bilbao's in the group as well. Let me check. Is it Riccatello? I think it is 92 or 62. Sorry, yeah, Riccatello. Who's that for Movistar? Javier Romo is in this group. There's 5 riders in that group, so it was... Oh, I forgot them already. Wanayusu, Riccatello. Who was the other rider? Oh, you're joking. There was another big name rider in that group, and I can't remember his name. Peo Bilbao, that's who it was. Javier Romo and a rider from AF Education. With Dorian Goudon and... Alright, yes, Amanye. The Basque people cheering on a Frenchie. Nice. Frenchies have amazing talents all over. So we're under the... Well, we're a decent bit into the descent now. And it is still Paul Sexas on his own. Hope we get to see some stats on Sexas climbing performance just there. Must have been crazy performance with 7 watts per kilogram plus. Now, I'm going to be honest. See, with watts and that, see the watts kilogram thing, I can't wrap my hand around it. I just don't understand it. I would like to, but I just don't get it. I think I can understand when you say, I think Van der Poel said that in the end of the Tour of Flanders he was doing like 600 watts. I can sort of understand that, but the whole watts per kilogram, that's a way over my head. That. Good to see Ayuso fighting. Good to see Ayuso fight. It is, after the time trial, big question marks above his head, and he's still fighting. So, good to see. It says PCS he's 1:20 down. By the way, still here, just multitasking here. You're all good. You're all good, Cat. But what are we looking at now? 52 seconds, the gap, 15 kilometers to go. And like I said, they descend down. I don't know the exact kilometer, but I probably know in the next couple kilometers when the PCS, when they get further down the descent. But I think it is with 4 kilometers, it starts to rise uphill again. So it does. I will change this to 15 kilometers. But yeah, it looks like we're seeing another a replay of the Fon Ardèche Classic in France, which Paul Sexas attacked, and Jorgensen was the only one to follow, and then he dropped him and went to win on his own. This time Paul Sexas attacked, and who was the rider that was only... Skelmoza was able to go with him for like maybe 2 seconds, to which he then dropped, and now he's going on his own. So it looks like we're getting a carbon copy of this race. The first time was so nice, he had to do it twice pretty much. That is what he's saying. Florian Lipowitz, Skelmoza, Alex Bodin, Ian Izagiri, and who's the other one? Utebrooks. They are the 5 riders up the road. They've got a gap. It says 5 seconds. It's a lot more than 5 seconds, but PCS says 5 seconds. I don't know what the TV's saying. But the group behind is Chapousson from Astana, Isaac Del Toro, Roglic, and Ben Tollett. So it looks like... not Roglic. You could say the same for Roglic, but it does look like Isaac Del Toro is struggling here. And like I said earlier, you could potentially put that down to fatigue from the other stage races that he has rode in, and he has done brilliantly well in the Tirreno and the UAE Tour. Kian is doing well too. Yes, I agree. He is doing well on this one. I noticed him doing well in the Milano Torino. That is where I think that was the first. He rode the Volta Valencia at the start of the season, and then a month later, maybe a month and a couple of weeks later, he rode the Milano Torino, where I seen him doing. He actually looked very comfortable. Movistar were doing well as well. I don't dare try to spell out his family. Yeah, I know. I see trying to type it out, like when I'm doing like subtitles or something on videos. I'm like, I have to keep swapping back and forth and going through each letter. But they're showing the Ayuso group that is 2 minutes and 5 seconds down now. Still the same 5 riders in it. Here we go. We know who the AF Education rider is now with a number. Who is it? Belocchi from AF Education. So where's Ben Healy? Ben Healy must have dropped. Roglic was making delivery. Toro. Oh, I'm gonna. Pardon me. Roglic was making delivery. Toro closed gap every time because Lipo is in front. Sexax looks calmer than Poggy did at that age, more focused and less playful. Del Toro, yep, Roglic and Del Toro. Thank you for doing these casts. I appreciate it. No problem. No problem. I will just, there's 24 people in here, so I appreciate you all joining me. I'm going to be live for the rest of the week for the Basque Country. I'll also be live on Sunday for the Paris-Roubaix, and then we've got, I think it's a week break, finally. A bit of a break. I think it's a week before the Ardennes. Something like that anyway, but I think we've got a slight break after the Roubaix for a while until the Ardennes pick up again. So if you want to follow along, like I always say, subscribe. I will be covering the Giro, the Tour, and the Vuelta this year. And every other World Tour race, so that is the plan. But they're just showing the descent here, Paul Sexas, and he's it's just pure elegance. Like, I mean, if that's like, look at, it's like a motorbike going around a corner. How close his knee is to the ground. Like, that is nuts. Like, you're out front, mate, by a minute. Like, take it back a notch here. Oh. If you ever decide to do your own podcast, I think you should call it the So It Does Cycling Podcast. Is that because I say that all the time? Because I said to my mum and brother about it, and they said my mum says you say it all the time, and I was like, there's no way I do. But if I do, I do. I can't control it, but I remember trying to sit down and try and catch myself saying it, but I never did. Oh, crash by a quick step rider on the descent. Who is it? Mikel Landa. Oh no, Mikel Landa's down and he's not getting up. 3 people around him. He's lying flat on his back. Oh, no. I don't even know if they're going to have it, like a replay of it, but he doesn't look to be in a good position there. Playful is great, though. Oh, is that the... Oh, right, okay, right. So we've got 9.1 kilometers to go. We're into the final 10 kilometers. Let me change that. And Sexas out the front. He has got a minute gap now. 9 kilometers to go. He's a minute on Skelmoza, Florian Lipowitz, Kian Utebrooks, Ian Izagiri, and Alex Bodin. That sucks for Landa. I think somebody's fantasy team is also... Don't make me laugh at that. Obviously, awful that he's crashed, but... That is he is in the zone. He's more than in the zone. He's I don't even know. It's like everyone needs a catchphrase. Do I actually say it a lot? Do I say so it does a lot? I don't know. I actually don't know if I do. Good branding. Everyone needs a catchphrase. Oh. It's endearing. So let me have a look. We've 7.9k to go. I will just go through the PCS groups according to the groups on PCS. Sorry. So we've got Paul Sexas up the road. We know the gap according to the TV is 1 minute and 3 seconds. Down the road is Skelmoza, Lipowitz, Utebrooks, Ian Izagiri, and Bodin. 1 minute and 6 seconds. That doesn't seem right. Well, anyway, the group behind them is Chapousson, Del Toro, Roglic, and Tullet. Lipowitz and Skelmoza there having an exchange there at the back of the group as they've been dropped now after that exchange. There's a gap now between those two and the 3 in the group. Sorry, my head's... I'm trying to... Where am I? Sorry. Chapousson, Del Toro, and Roglic, as well as Ben Tullet, are a group of 4 chasing down the Skelmoza group. Harold Tejada and Higuita are apparently a minute and 30 down. I don't think these PCS times are correct, but then the Juan Ayuso, Riccatello, Javier Romo, Peo Bilbao, and Bolocki group are 2 minutes and 10 seconds down. Don't change, thank you. So they're showing the argument here against Skalmoza says something to Lipowitz. They both take their eye off the ball as a gap is created between those two to Izagirre, Boudin, and Utebrooks. So we've got 6.5 kilometers left to go now. It does rise, 3 kilometers. I was 1 kilometer off, but Boudin and Izagirre are surprisingly good. They are looking very good here. Hopefully they keep it up throughout the week. No Landa, I know. It is. It didn't look good. Did he abandon? I don't think they'll probably announce it after the stage. Good ride by Boudin. Agreed, 100%. He also did well. He also did good in that Miguel injury, and he got third in that race. I wasn't aware of that now. I have to start realizing that Landa has no more chance of winning anything anymore. Find a new young rider to root for. I'd say he still has it. I'd say he still's got a chance to win stages potentially, but I don't know about a weak stage race anymore with the talent that is coming through at the moment. You do, so I do. Okay. I do. I just said it there, didn't I? No, I said so I do, and so it does. You should start rooting for Pogacar, then you're safe. So we've got 5.7. I'll change this to 5 kilometers to go. But what a performance! I think we can start to say the congratulations to Paul Sexas now. It's 1 minute and 7, but I mean, I'll touch wood. I don't want to scud him, but I mean, what a performance! Not the way I expected the stage to go. Didn't expect him to be the one to attack first now. If he was if he was a musician, he would hit all the good notes, making the people cry for his beauty. I'm a Sexas fan already. I mean, when I seen him do the what was it? The Volta Algarve, the stage he won on that. When I seen him, I was like, oh, how can you not like this guy? And then he kept doing it in the Volta Algarve, and he was still there. And I thought, this is looking good here for the French fans. And then the Strade Bianche, I thought, wow, the Strade Bianche was when I became a fan of him, and I thought, this guy's looking great. And I thought, fair play to him. As a Frenchman, it has to be Sexas. It has to be Sexas now, or Vauquelin. Do you think Vauquelin has it in him to... Oh, sorry. No, I thought we were talking about something else. I know what you mean now. That's obviously who you're going to be rooting for. Let me have a look at the poll. Actually, I forgot all about it. 28 votes, 58% go for Sexas, 21 for Del Toro, 21 for Roglic, and 4% for other. So I think the 54 that voted for Sexas there are going to be getting that correct, as the gap is now 1 minute and 13. It's growing. He's out on his own, and there's 5 riders chasing, all who would need a win in a World Tour race. All would, I would say, need a win in the situations they're currently in. Utebrooks with his new team, Skalmoza obviously with Juan Ayuso being the leader. He wants to prove it. Lipowitz never won a World Tour race. Ian Izagirre, his last season. Whoa! Spectator hit by a motorbike. Oh! Either someone on the back of a motorbike has just flew off, or some guy's just been hit by the motorbike. 3.5k to go. What happened there? Massive crash. Like not even a cycling crash, a massive motor crash. I just seen some guy lying on the road with a motorbike beside him. But we've got 3.4k to go. The crowds are now out in full force for this race. I don't know if he fell over, or I don't know if he got hit by a bike, but there was a bike right beside him from where he was lying. 3.2, 1 minute and 15. I wonder if the rest are going to get caught up behind in this that crash that there was. Right, here comes this group. They're going to get to this point now where this crash was. Let's see if we can get or see what has happened. They go around the bend. The crash was just up the road. It's not there anymore. What? Did it even happen? What happened there? The road is completely clear now. It's like it never happened. What? So we've got a battle for second going on here between Utebrooks, Skelmuza, Lipowitz, Ian Izagiri, and Alex Bodin. I'm actually pretty excited to see who gets this one, because these are 5 riders who you would have not expected to be. You would have obviously expected Del Toro, Roglic, etc., Juan Ayuso potentially. But I think the battle for second is going to be pretty fun to watch here. See who still has it in them after that climb. I'm going to go for Utebrooks. Who do you think is getting second? We've got Skelmuza, Lipowitz, Utebrooks, Ian Izagiri, and Alex Bodin. I think it would definitely be either Izagiri or... I think Izagiri, has a really good chance of getting this, but I'm going to go with Utebrooks to get second. I always vote Rogla. 1 minute and 19 seconds. Alexandra goes for Bodin. So we've got a vote for Bodin. The chasing group that is consisting of... Is that Juan Ayuso? Seen another decathlon rider at the back there now passing where the guy obviously got hit by the motorbike. Or whatever happened there. The gap is 1 minute and 20. They don't seem to... Utebrooks at the front, he flicks the elbow, but I don't think... They're not staying at the front for long here, taking their turns. As Paul Sexas hits the 2 kilometre banner now. And he's going to win it. I mean, he's going to win for 1 minute and 21 seconds. Like, I want to see this battle for second, though. This is looking a good one for second. 1.9 kilometres. And Paul Sexas, I mean... What do you even say about that performance? This is... They've just got the camera on Paul Sexas, but I don't even know what to say. He's still putting the foot down on this final climb up. Oh, the group for second's going to get caught here. They're going to get caught. That's what happens when you don't work together. The group chasing the group for second. Obviously, that consists of Roglic, Del Toro. I think it says Chapuzon, Higuita, Tejada, Ben Tollett. That's what it says in PCS. It looks like they're closing the gap. Yeah, they definitely are. 1.5 kilometres to go now for Paul Sexas. I don't know how long is left for the second group. They're 1 minute and 20 down. I think they're hitting the 2 kilometre banner now, potentially. I think that's what they just hit. But, I mean, it's about to hit 1 kilometre, 1.3 kilometres. He takes a turn to the right. Now, the final 1.2 kilometres have an average of 7.2%. And Paul Sexas is hitting it solo. I think the battle for second here is going to be quite interesting on this narrow road up to the finish line. And it does look like they're going to get caught, but he's about to hit the final banner here now. As Paul Sexas hits the 1 kilometre banner. What is going to... Banger commentating. Thank you. I try not to stutter. When I'm commentating, I always think I'm stuttering and stuff, but I do try my best, thanks. It looks like the group for Del Toro... Oh, I was just about to say it looks like they've sat up, but there's someone from Astana at the front, 13, who's at Higuita. It looks like he's picked up the pace with his 2 teammates, Tejada and Chapuzon, at the back of this group. But it looks like Higuita is trying to close the gap on the Utebrooks and Lipowitz Skelmuza group. But we've got a very narrow road here up to the final. Sorry, up to the finish line. And the Utebrooks Skelmuza group, it doesn't look... They don't look to be working together. They keep looking behind each other to see who's where and how close this other group is. 12%. Is that what it is? I'm just going off the PCS said the average was 7.2% or something like that for the final 1.2 kilometres. But look at the crowds here with Sexas going through them, parting them like the Red Sea as he's coming up the final 600 metres. But this has been some performance from him. I've never seen anybody race like that, and I saw Poggy coming from afar in 20... Oh, I missed your other one. I think the Euro 2016 when I saw Roglic in the prologue live. Such a cool, relaxed dude. I also already knew him from ski jumping, which I watched a lot back then. Well, fair enough. You've been following his whole career then. The Skelmoser group now hits the final 1 kilometre, as well does the Del Toro group, so they are very close to each other. I'd say maybe 2-3 seconds. But Ben Tullett is attacking out of that group. I think Roglic is in his wheel. But look at how narrow this road is up to the top. The barriers on it as well. As Utebrooks now attacks out the front of this group. Anyone able to follow? Ian Izagiri. He is the one to follow. Lipowitz in 3rd. Boudin in 4th. And who was the last one? Skelmoser in 5th. But Utebrooks puts in a massive acceleration. 150 metres to go for Paul Sexas. But this is like... I don't even know words, the performance, I can't even think of the words to describe how good this performance was. But Paul Sexas is wrapping up stage 2 off the Itzulia Basque Country. He hits 100 metres to go, 50 metres to go now. And Paul Sexas wins stage 2 off the Itzulia Basque Country in an unbelievable fashion. He crosses the line, hands in the air. I mean, what can you even say to sum that up? Utebrooks now attacking to try and get second. Ben Tullett has now bridged across to this group. He's looking pretty good here. He looks to be coming up on the right-hand side of the road. So we've got a group here. Is that Higuita from Astana? Is Roglic there? I think Roglic is there. Del Toro is dropping a lot. Del Toro is a way in the distance here. He's 500 metres to go. I think the other group have about 350. Is it? Or am I completely wrong? I think Roglic is there. I think Roglic is in the back of this group. Lipowitz is at the front, but I think, yeah, Roglic is in the back. So we've got a group of 7 here going into this. 300 metres to go. Utebrooks gets out of the saddle on the right. Skelmoser on the left moves to the centre. Boudin on the wheel of Skelmoser. Ian Izagiri in the wheel of Utebrooks. Roglic in the wheel of Boudin. No, he's not. That's Lipowitz. But Skelmoser now. Utebrooks puts in a massive acceleration. Ben Tullett on the left-hand side of the road. They're going to not want to hit the barriers here. They're sticking out. But it looks like Utebrooks is going to take second as Skelmoser comes up on the right-hand side. 150 metres to go. The road's that narrow. No one can get past each other. But we've got Boudin on the right. Skelmoser on the left. Utebrooks in the centre. He has got 75 metres. Anyone going to be able to come around him? Is Skelmoser on the left? Looks like he's going to take second. Is that Roglic on the left-hand side? Roglic gets 3rd. Skelmoser in 2nd. Wow. Roglic came out of nowhere to get 2nd there. Or 3rd, sorry. 2nd in that sprint. But Skelmoser comes 2nd. That is a massive performance for him after seeing, obviously Juan Ayuso doesn't have the best of days. Doesn't look like he's going to have the best of weeks. But Skelmoser, hinting at a little, saying, I've still got it here. But they've just crossed the line and Sexas is already sitting down. But 39 people in here. Do subscribe. I'm live all week for the Paris-Roubaix at the end of the week and the Itzulia Basque Country. I'm going to wait for the top 10, so I am. But I just thought I'd say that whilst everyone is in here. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thank you all for joining me. I'm not going off yet, but I'm just waiting for the top 10. And saying if you would like to subscribe, go ahead and do so. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video as well. But they're showing more sprints here. This is the Juan Ayuso group, I think. Looks like, yeah, Juan Ayuso. So Juan Ayuso sprinted for the line, that's also good to see. He's still sprinting for the line. Thanks, no problem. So let's see the 66% but 41 votes for Sexas. And the 66% that did vote, he does get it. Blimey, I called it right. That is a Kodak moment. I mean, what a finish. I don't even know the time gaps. I think that it was definitely over a minute. Don't know, maybe with the sprint at the end with the second group. I don't know if they kept it under a minute. But I'm going to wait for the top 10. But the top 3, as we know it, Paul Sexas wins by a massive margin after a massive performance again. He blows it completely out of the water. Skelmoser gets 2nd, and I think Primoz Roglic gets 3rd. Sexas is amazing. Cheers for a great stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But let's see. Let's wait for this top 10. Hopefully they get it in pretty decent timing. I don't know, man. I really think Sexas is the man to beat Poggy. I've been watching cycling since the 80s, and I never saw anything like him. Well, here, I mean, if you've been watching from the 80s, that is a massive compliment. Sorry, did I say watching him from the 80s? Sorry, I meant watching from the 80s. I hate to say it, but I think the Rog's best days are behind him. I'd say that that final romp, he still, I don't know. The verdict's out for Roglic. For myself, I think he still does. Don't know if he has a weak stage race in him. I think Sexas is the closest to Pogacar already. Over Vingegaard? That's a bold take now. Roglic is steady and every day is new. He has an amazing attitude. I agree. He did do very well there on that final ramp, especially seeing he was in the group down. And he caught back Del Toro. When I go to say his name, I can't say it probably. Del Toro, though, a lot of question marks above his head after that. I don't know where he came. He's better than Vingegaard, I think. We finally get to see how Sexas does against great competition. I agree. It is good to see the likes of Roglic, Lipowitz, Del Toro. Obviously Juan Ayuso, but he's weighed down a bit. But it is good to see riders with the name and the status, and Paul Sexas coming in and completely obliterating it. Del Toro had no one to lead him in the race. I suppose that is also a point. So are they going to show the top 10 here, or wow? What is showing the scenery? They've still only got the top 3 right here. We go top 12. They've got the top 12 now. So Paul Sexas comes in first. Skelmoza in second. 1 minute and 25 seconds down. So Roglic gets third. Utebrooks in fourth. Ben Tullett for Visma in fifth. Very good ride from him. Alex Bodin in sixth. Ian Izagiri in seventh. Lipowitz in eighth. Chapousson in ninth. Harold Tejada in 10th. Isaac Del Toro 1 minute and 43 down in 11th. And Juan Ayuso 2:29 down in 12th. So wow, that is a very good top 10. Very good race from everyone today. I mean, question marks above Del Toro's head. Not so much above Juan Ayuso's, because I think it was pretty expected, I guess, just because of how he did in the time trial. I don't know. But yet again, from the likes of Ben Tullett, Alex Boudon, Ian Izagiri, Utebrooks, very good rides. Skelmoza, proven little trek that he needs to be the man. Del Toro might have had the best chance of winning a Grand Tour last year. Do you think so? You think the Giro is the close he'll get the one? Nice finishes from Grat and Verstringe. Have they got the rest of the... Oh, pardon me. But yes, he's still a rider, but not at the cutting edge anymore. I get you now. I know what you're trying to say now. He's still a hell of a rider, right? I just read that completely wrong. But yes, I'm gonna end the stream here. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I'm live for the rest of the week for the Itzulia Basque Country and Paris-Roubaix at the end of the week. But thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. And live again tomorrow. So thanks for watching the Final K. Thank you for joining me today, and I hopefully will see you tomorrow. All the best.